Greetings traders, it's Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. I've got a short position here, and this is a code 2 breakout technique, and so it should go down big here. Here's what the daily looks like right here. You can see we're at the bottom of the daily with when the breakout came. So it's going to go down here. Now it's just a question of how much it's going to go down. I'm going to go for 100 ticks. Looks like this is going to be an easy 100 tick trade here. I might go for more. Yeah, let me take a look at this again. All right. Yeah, we've got multiple code 2 short entries with the daily looking like that. Okay, it's just going to be the day that I called out within my charting service that it's going to go down about another 200 ticks or so. So I'm thinking that I could get let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go for 100 ticks here because I've given up a lot in my position already. Could have a lot better position. And so normally I would go for about 150, so I'm just going to back off to 100, keep it there, and it should make it pretty easily, pretty quickly, and pretty easily. It needs to go down to 57.38 for 100 ticks. You know, this thing is really dropping hard, isn't it? And what do I always tell everybody in my charting? When you see this happen, what do? Go for more. Let me calculate it though. What are we talking about here? 58, 57. Yeah, we could go down to 57. Where's my exit at now? 57.38. Let's see. Now this could be another 280 tick day here. This thing is really moving. Okay, I'm going to come back. I might go for 150 ticks here. I think it's calling for it. But I'm going to at least keep the 100 out there. Should make it very easily. I'll be back. Okay, well, I tell everybody over and over and over and over and over again in my charting, when you see what's happening right now, you go for more ticks. So I'm going for more. All right, let's take it down to 150 ticks. You gotta be careful with this thing. You gotta be really careful when you move it. Oh, I did it again. Okay, 150 tick exit on it now. It should be able to make it. It should be able to make it. This thing's going to go 200 plus ticks today, possibly even 280 ticks. So that's what it's acting like right now. It's acting like a 280 tick day right here. It's acting like the day is coming that I was talking about, a capitulation day. And this looks like it's it right here. I'm going to go for 150. I might even go for more. Might push 200 here. I'll be back. Okay, it's getting closer here. Still got a ways to go. But just needs to drop below the 57 there down to 56.88. Now I'm out for 150 ticks. So if you know anything about oil and know how these trades work right here, I am already within striking distance right now. And I would say the mathematical chances of me hitting the trade are pretty high right now. I think this is going to be a 280 tick day perhaps. Probably at least 240, which means I could actually get 200 ticks off of this, I think. Actually, that would be pushing it. I'm going to keep it at 150 ticks because I think that's right where the math stays pretty high and also gives me a nice big trade at the same time. So I'm going to keep it at 150. I think that I should be able to hit it. I'll be back. Hope all of you code traders out there, especially of course you charting subscribers, I hope you've had 2 really good, beautiful days because you know these are like such easy days. It doesn't get any nicer than this. It's too bad every day wasn't like these days. That would really be nice. So these are just the best days, and you really wanted to make sure that you were going for some ticks on these days. And this one right here too. This one should be an even bigger day than this one. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be something like this. And that's what it looks like so far. That's what it's acting like so far. Codes are all going short. It looks like one of those days where all the codes will go short. So where do you think it's going to go for all you Charm subscribers? It is going to go down big. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make a lot of money at the oil market or any market in general. Is by being able to take advantage of moves and getting a lot out of it. Imagine somebody was, up here short on oil and they only got, 30 ticks out of it and they were happy. And then they were too scared to get back in. Imagine another person got 30 ticks in it, was too scared to get out. And they just accidentally held it. Big difference, right? Well, as traders, we can't have the luxury of knowing that in advance. But what we can do on a daily basis is recognize when it is time to go for more ticks. And there are various ways of knowing this. Number one, we can see that all the codes go short. We can see when we do the charting what happens when all the codes go short. Same thing always happens. There's various different ways, techniques that we have to know when to go for a big trade. Like for instance, earlier something happened and all the code traders would know what that is. And here's a 10-minute, by the way. And I say that when this happens, you go for more ticks. And it happened. So this is what we're doing. We're going for more tick, going for 150 here. If we had a better position in it, we'd be going for 200. But my position is not so good. I could have gotten in up here very easily using the code. I didn't come in till later. By the time I came in, it was down here. But I still got in using the code. And so I have to give up those ticks right there and calculate that into the code. So if the code's going to be good for 200 ticks and I'm in 50 ticks down, then I got to go for just 150 ticks. It's basically what I'm doing. But if the code's going to go 280 ticks, that's an extra 80 ticks there that I could catch, which would put me at 230 ticks, and I could just go for 200 and have a 30 tick buffer there. So, but the mathematics on that trade would probably reduce down, because what's the mathematics on 280 ticks? It's reduced down, but I can just tell you right now, it is acting like a 280 tick day. It is. All over the place, it's acting like it. So, there's a good chance actually that it'll come today. But anyway, whether it comes or whether it doesn't come, 150 ticks from where I'm at puts me at pretty high mathematics. It's pretty high. In other words, my exit is going to get hit with a pretty high mathematics. Now, if I go for an extra 50 ticks, then the mathematics is going to reduce down. Let's say I took it down to a 50 ticks 38, right? 56, 38. Now the math is going to be reduced. I would say right now, currently where we're sitting, the math is sitting at about 80%. 80% chance I'm going to hit my 150 tick exit right here. Right here, right now. If I go for an extra 50, the math is probably going to be reduced to about somewhere around 40%, I would say, because of my position is bad. Now, if my position was a lot better, then the math would go way higher. because my exit would be higher. But since my exit is not, my position's not so good, and I got to give up those ticks, we're pushing it, have to go 280. If it goes 240, I don't think it's going to make it. Let me calculate that. 240. Actually, I think it would make it. Wait, how many ticks is that? Oh, no, wouldn't make it. I'm sorry. I got a really bad position. My ticks are off by 60 ticks. If I have to give up 60 ticks, if it goes 280, that's 220. And the chances of it going 280 are not so great. Chances of it going 240 are really good. Chances of it going 280, not as good. The math will be reduced even further. So if we calculate it as 240, that gives me 180. It means I can make 180 ticks off of this. So, and I'm going for 150. That gives me a 30 tick buffer right there. That's right where I want to be. I don't want to put it down for exactly 180. I want a buffer there. A 30 tick buffer is a good buffer. So the math on this, that I'm going to hit 150 ticks, is high, very high. And as it goes lower and lower, like it's doing, the math is increasing. It's getting higher and higher and higher. To where, for instance, let's say it goes down to 1 tick away right here. Well, the math on that would probably be close to %95 or even higher. I would say, I say on 150 tick exit, the math is probably like about 97, 98%, something like that. 90, maybe even higher, maybe 90, I'm not exactly sure. But it's very, 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 very high. In other words, the chances of it coming 1 tick away and then going back the other direction and not hitting it on a 150 tick trade is not very good. Not very good. It's going to hit it, 95 times out of 100. It's going to hit it. 98 times out of 100, it's going to hit it. Something like that. Anyway, again, how do you make money at the oil market? Well, for one, you use the codes. But for two, when the time comes where the exits are big, all you got to do is get the right entry, go for the big exit, have the stomach to do it. You say, why don't you get out right now? You're so close. I mean, why take the risk? It's mathematics. It's not emotion. It's not about the money. Okay? It's not about the money. It's not about the emotion. What if? What if it starts bouncing? What if? It's not about that. It's about the mathematics. See, the code allows us to reduce all of this to math, where we can be like a real robot and just play the math. I mean, if something has an 80% chance, do you want to go for the 20%? Or would you rather just go for the 80%? That means you're going to lose 20% of the time, true, but you're going to win 80. With that kind of math, you can make a fortune. And so I'm just simply playing the math. You play the math over and over and over again and always have that thing where you always play the math. Guess what happens? When you're playing something that you have a mathematical advantage over, you win. It's when you start second guessing yourself is when you lose. You start saying, oh, I don't think it's really going to go down. I'm going to get out here. And you get out, instead of for however many ticks I've got right there, you get out for 30 ticks. And in the following trade, you lose twice in a row, and now you're down 10 ticks, 20 ticks. You're in the hole 10 ticks, 20 ticks, instead of being way ahead. This is the real way to make it at this market. Actually, it's the real way to make it at any market. You can trade stocks, though, and do well by going for shorter exits and playing more stocks and things like that. You can do it. But in this market here, in the oil market specifically, you really want to be able to hit some big trades. And then start upping your contracts. And then that's all you really need. Once you build up your... once you learn the system, learn how to calculate your exits, learn how to calculate your entries and your stops, all that stuff based on the code, which is easier than it sounds. And voila, you start making money. Now, for those of you code traders, you're looking at, the code and saying, don't you think it might bounce? Let me give you a lesson again. In this particular situation, what do we have? We have all codes say go short. Have you ever seen in the charting before where all of a sudden it will bounce? You probably say, yeah, that's true. It does happen sometimes. It does. Is it likely to happen in this situation right here? No. It's not. Why? Well, for one thing, this is going to be a capitulation day. Another thing, what happened earlier today? What happened earlier that I mentioned it? Right? You always go for more, right? That is almost 100% right there. That's another flaw in the system. That's it's 100% signal right there that it will in fact go much lower. Almost 100% of the time. I wouldn't say 100%. I wouldn't say that, but almost close. Maybe 90%. So we've got that as a signal. We've also got all the codes going short as signals. The chances of us getting another code to go long right here are not good. And even if it were to happen, most likely what would happen is it would just go up a little bit, right? Turn back over on the specials and come on down. Continue its way down, and it's going to end the day at about 240 to 280 ticks on the bar. How many ticks is it good for now? 58.88 is the low. I'm sorry. Boy, my eyes are not doing too good, are they? 56.99 is the low. 59.35 is the high. That's 230 ticks now. Are you kidding me? 57, 58, 59. How many ticks is this one good for? 69, 50, 60. Wait. I'll be right back. I don't know why, but for some reason I never realized that this bar right here is almost 400 ticks. I didn't realize that. So we're already 230 right here. I think it's going to do 280. And when it does its 280, it's going to hit my exit. So still very high chance of hitting the exit here. And I'm going to go for it. And, when I first learned about these codes, you can't imagine how many times I pull out early. And I learned after so many times, getting beaten ahead over and over and over again. Don't pull out and go for the exit, and you hit it over and over and over again, especially in this particular situation. I mean, it doesn't get any better than where we are right now. It doesn't. It never does. Everything is screaming, go for a lot of ticks right here. Even here, like another 100 ticks. Anyway, I'm just going to go for the 150, call it a day. I'll be back. Okay, it's getting close down here. And you might say, oh, well, you could get more ticks. You could get more ticks. Or do you think you could get more ticks? And I say, yeah, I think the chances are pretty good I could get more ticks. But it's a question of, do you want to lower the mathematics? That's what I keep trying to hammer home here. This is about mathematics. It's not about the price. It's not about how much money you have. It's not about anything other, not about how you feel about the trade or what it might do, or can you get more. This is all based upon greed and all this different stuff, whatever. Don't base it upon that. Base it upon mathematics. What's the mathematics of going for 150 ticks? If you know that math, basically, from the charting and everything, you calculate it yourself, whatever. Well, you need to have the charting. And so you know that mathematics, you know what it's doing right now, what it's going for. Like, for instance, what I called for even in the charting. And you know that the chances are good, then it's going to hit. And you say, how do you know that? Well, from the charting. When you track it, you know what it's going to do. You say, well, that's impossible. No, it's not impossible. There's a reason for it. And that reason is the whole reason why we can do this. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what it's going to do. It could go up any time. You wouldn't know. How are you going to know it's going to hit your exit? You wouldn't. It's impossible. Again, you make it about mathematics. And there's a reason why it is all mathematics. A secret. A secret about it. Anyway, almost there. No reason to try and get out right here. The mathematics of it hitting are 95% right here even. Well, okay, not 95%. That's not true. It need to go down all the way down to 89 for it to be that. I've had it bounce off of there more times than I can count, but not off of a trade like this. I'd say this thing is going to go down to about 56.40 perhaps. Yeah, I calculate about 56.40, but it might go down more. It might go all the way down to 56. Ask needs to come down. This ask right here needs to come down right there. Once the ask came down, then it can come out. Oh, this thing's messed up, isn't it? Yeah, it's I don't know why it's doing that. I'll be right back. Okay, I was able to bring it back. It was on a wrong setting. Not sure how it got like that. Anyway, as you can see, it is, well, let's see, what is it doing? Oh, that's a 10-minute right there. Look at the daily. Sweet, huh? Anyway, that's how you make money at the market right there, is by going for a big trade. Knowing the math on it, knowing the code, and then taking the exit. How many ticks is it now? I'm so sorry. Now I feel really super stupid. I'm sitting there looking at it going, what is wrong with this thing? Am I like, is this the Twilight Zone or what? And I'm not realizing I'm looking at the 10-minute chart. All right. 56.85. It's not down that much. It's only 240. Yeah. Kind of miscalculated that, didn't I? Oh, well, 240, yeah, 240 is perfect because the mathematical chances of it being 240 is actually pretty good. So, yeah, that's a good place to get out right there. So I did right. It's a possibility that 240 could be the low. But I would not bet on it, though. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, I wouldn't want to bet on it. I wouldn't go long or anything like that. No way. Because the chances of it going even further than that is also very good. So it's once you take the entry and you go and you hit your exit, that's it. You're done. No reason to risk any more. This is our advantage. And we take the advantage, no reason to try and risk anymore. I never do. I never bother. 150 ticks, all you need. It's bouncing pretty good here. What is the low? The low came at 56.85. I forget what was my Yep. 56.85. My exit was at 88, right? Well, sometimes you luck out. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But with the code, okay, there was a decent chance or good chance even that it would do 240. It did it. Did 240. Now it's going back the other way. Will it continue to go the other way? I can't say that. Cannot say that at all right now. But there is a very real chance of it, though. Anyway, I'm all done. Hope all of you code traders, and especially you charting subscribers who are paying me $300 a month to help you out, track the codes, tell you which direction it's going to go. I hope that you nailed this trade. And I know you had to nail yesterday. So, you have to, you should have nailed today too. It was very, very easy. I mean, whatever one you took, didn't matter. They all go in the same direction. Except for this one is going the opposite direction. Let me see. Let me go check. I'll be right back. Okay, well, if the price were to hit 57.43, it would be a long, code 2 long signal to take a long position, and it would actually go up quite a bit. So if it goes there, I am going to take the trade. 42.43, taking the trade. Okay, need to calculate the exit. I'll be right back. Okay, since it's giving a long entry right there, for you charting subscribers, this is the same code. It gave us 230 ticks yesterday. Same code. Looks like it's going to make a big bounce. Looks like it's going to make a big bounce here. I'm going to go for 100 ticks on this trade. 100 ticks here. Yep. Going for a 100 tick exit. I'll be back. By the way, don't try this at home unless you know the code. You go long on a daily bar like that, it's suicide. Unless you know the code. And since I know the code, I'm the one who tracks it even. And I know that the breakout technique is almost 100% trade using the code. So I've got 100% trade here. I'll be back. However, that doesn't mean though that it will go up very far. That is something that is undetermined. So once it goes up, let's say about 20 ticks or so, put a break-even stop on it and let it go. Okay, the trade is moving up here. We'll see if it can do 100 ticks. I think that it can. Basically what it'll do is it'll come, halfway, a little bit more than halfway back up. And then what it will do from there is, I don't know. It could go all the way up. It could come back down a bit, end up where it is right now, something like that. It could do many different things actually. And the chances of it moving up 100 ticks here are not super good. I don't know what the math is on it. I would say it's probably somewhere around I'll be right back. Actually, the math on this one is not very good at all. I would say it's only about 40% or so, roughly. About 40%, but there is a chance that it could go all the way up and actually go green. But if it were to do that, it would really start moving higher, like in a radical way. It wouldn't be playing much of a game here, which is what it's doing right now still. But if it starts to really, really, really jump and start moving higher, it could go all the way. The math on that is not good at all. That would probably only happen about it wouldn't happen very often. Like, let's say 5% or so, something like that. In this particular circumstance, more like about 10%, I would say. Actually, no, I'm not gonna, no. It's down too far, 240 ticks, no. No, it's not gonna do it. Never goes green when it goes that low. So no, it's not gonna go green. It's definitely not gonna go green. The chances of hitting 5842 are about maybe 40%, maybe only 30%. Yeah, it's pretty low math right here. So what I could do is increase the math by simply changing the exit. If I go for 60 ticks, I would say the math would increase to about 80%. Let's calculate that. That would be at 50. It would be at 58. I need to zoom in here. 58 puts me right there. Yeah, I'd say no. I wouldn't give it 80%. I would give it about 70% chance that it'll go back up there again at 58. Get me out for 60 ticks. 60. Yeah. So I can increase the math by going for 60 ticks. Now, if I wanted to increase it even further, I can. I can go for 40 ticks. 40 ticks, I would say the math jumps up to about 80%. So you see how you can do that? You can simply, and the only way to know that would be to know the codes and know what the codes are good for. And you do that through the charting. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to watch it for a bit and see how much it really wants to bounce back up. I'll probably change my exit to 58 to increase the mathematics. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that now. Let's increase the math, just go for 60 ticks. Okay, we'll bring it down from 42 all the way down to 02. For 60 ticks. That puts my math at about 70% or so that I can hit this trade, which is pretty good mathematics. Now the other math of 30%, 40%, that's bad mathematics. You don't want to play that kind of mathematics because it's not in your favor. So simply decrease your exit, increase your math to a point where it's good. 70% is pretty good. Pretty decent mathematics. It's about as low as I want to go, though. I don't want to go any lower than 70%. Otherwise, I would increase it. I'd go for 50 ticks, put it at 75%. Go for 40 ticks, put it at 80%. That type of thing. Anyway, I'll be back. Again, so it's not about the money. It's not about what if and your emotions and getting scared or being greedy. What if it goes down and you lose? What if it goes up even more and you could make a whole bunch of money? What if? What if? That's emotion. You don't play it like that. Play the math. Okay, granted down here I got out by 3 ticks. Okay, well, that was cutting it close. I didn't mean to cut it that close, that's for sure. But that's what a 30 tick buffer is for. Now again, I get 20 ticks ahead. What am I ahead now? See, when it gets up to about 62, I'll put a break-even stop on it and let it go. That way I can't lose on the trade. And if it does go up to the 60 ticks, I'll hit 60 more ticks today. Let me just take a quick look at something. It didn't go up there, did it? It did go to 62. Okay, I'm going to put it on now. My stop was way down there, wasn't it? It was a very big stop. There's nothing I could do about it. The code tells you where to place the stop at. I have to place the stop where the code says. Not where I'd like to place it, but where the stop says. I mean where the code says. I don't have a choice. If you want to play the code, you got to play the stops that the code says to place it at. And so, you know, Sometimes they're really big, sometimes they're small. Anyway, going for 60 ticks here. Math is pretty good, 70%. Have a break-even stop on it, cannot lose. Okay, so now you don't have to worry, just relax, kick back. On the 10-minute here, this puts me 58, puts me right here. So it's coming back about not quite halfway right there. So that's good too, because it's likely to come back halfway. So about 58.20 it's likely to go to. We're going to get out at 58 just to have a buffer and keep the math high. Hope you are starting to learn how to think mathematically. Because once you start doing that and you start playing it mathematically using the codes, then you will learn how to do what you see me doing here. It's not that difficult. Okay, I will be back. Okay, it came down and hit my break-even stop, so I'm all done for today. And I'm sure I could take another code trade if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I'm too tired. So anyway, I'm all done, and I won't be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually my birthday, and I'll be busy doing things, and then when I get back, I'll be busy doing the new course. So won't be doing any more trading. I just wanted to take a good trade today. I knew one was coming, and I mentioned that in the charting too as well. So anyway, I hope you traders hit it. I hope you're doing great. I will see you soon when I finish the course, the new course. Happy trading out there.